Good morning, students. Welcome back to the course of software engineering. This video is brought to you by Newton's Group of Institutions, Macharla. This is Arvind Egireddy from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today, let us discuss about the prototyping model. So, a prototype model, which is also a popular life cycle model, and this prototyping model we can consider to be an extension of the waterfall model. And this model suggests us building a working prototype of the system before development of the actual software. So here, a prototype, which is a toy or a crude implementation of the system, because it is going to have some limited functional capabilities, low reliability, and inefficient performance as compared to that of the actual software. So here, we can build the prototype very quickly by using several shortcuts, and these shortcuts, they usually involve developing inefficient, inaccurate, and dummy functions. So here, the shortcut implementation of a function, for example, may produce the desired results by using a table lookup rather than performing the actual computations. So here, the term rapid prototyping, what we are going to use when the software tools are used for prototype construction. For example, if tools based on fourth generation languages 4GL may be used to construct the prototype for the GUI parts, then what is the necessity of these prototyping models? That is the reasons for developing these prototype models. So here the prototype model is an advantageous to the use for specific type of projects. So here we identify three types of projects for which this prototyping model can be followed to be advantage. So it is advantageous to use the prototyping model for the development of the graphical user interface part of an application. Though the use of the prototype, it becomes easier to illustrate the input data formats, messages, reports, and interactive dialogues to the customer, because this is a valuable mechanism for gaining better understanding of the customer needs. So in this regard, we can say the prototype model turns out to be an especially useful in developing the graphical user interface part of the system. For the users, it becomes much easier to form an opinion regarding what would be more suitable by experimenting with the working user interface, rather than by trying to imagine the working of the hypothetical user interface. So here, the GUI part of the software system is almost always developed by using the prototyping model. So here, the prototyping model is especially useful when the exact technical situations which are unclear to the development team. And these prototypes can help them to critically examine the technical issues that are associated with the product development. We can take this with some small example. For suppose, consider a situation where the development team, they have to write a command level language interpreter as part of the graphical user interface development. Suppose if none of the team members has ever they have written any compiler before, then this lack of familiarity with the requirement development technology is a technical risk. So this risk we can resolve by developing a prototype compilers for very, very small languages, so that we can understand the issues that are associated with writing a compiler for a command language. So once we feel comfortable in writing the compilers for small languages, then we can use that particular knowledge what we have gained for developing the compiler for the command language. So here, this particular technique we can use for major design decision depends here. These decisions, they depend on the issues such as response time of the hardware controller or the efficiency of sorting algorithms, etc., etc. So in such circumstances, a prototype which is often the best way to resolve the technical issues. So an important reason for developing a prototype is that it is impossible to get it right for the first time. So whoever first develops the software, it is impossible for them to develop it right at the first time. So this particular statement is being given by the Brooks in 1975. That is, one must plan to throw away the software in order to develop a good software later. Thus, the prototyping model can be developed when development of highly optimized and efficient software which is required. So we can come to certain conclusions based on the discussions till now what we have made about the prototype. Because the prototyping model, which is considered to be useful for development for not only the GUI parts of software, they're also used for the software projects for which certain technical issues are not clear to the development team. Now, coming to the life cycle activities of the prototype model. So here the prototyping model of the software development is graphically, we can see it here. So it is basically into two major activities. One is prototyping construct and iterative waterfall based software development. So here in this particular prototyping construct, so the first, before constructing the original, first a prototype is being built and that is given for the customer for evaluation, and the customer gives his views about the software, if any drawbacks. Then again we have to refine and we have to make a quick design. Then again we have to build a new prototype. Again, that new prototype will be given to the customer for evaluation. If the customer is satisfied, he will say satisfied, else again he will refine the requirements. Then again a quick design will be made. So here we are first doing prototype construct. Once when the customer satisfies, then we go for waterfall based software development, that is designing, implementing, testing and maintenance. So here the software prototyping development model can be divided into two major activities. One is prototyping construction and the other one is iterative waterfall based software development. So let us see what is prototype development. So here in prototype development, it starts with the initial requirement gathering phase. Then the quick design is carried out and a prototype is being built. So here the developed prototype, then it is being submitted to the customer for evaluation. So here based on the customer feedback, again the requirements are refined and the prototype is suitably modified. So this cycle of obtaining customer feedback and modifying the prototype that constitute till the customer approves the prototype, saying that he is satisfied. Now in the step of iterative development, so once the customer approves the prototype, then the actual software is developed using the iterative waterfall approach. So in spite of the availability of a working prototype, here the SRS documents is usually needed to develop. Since the SRS documents is invaluable for carrying out traceability analysis, verification and test case designs during the later phases. So, however, for GUI parts, the requirement analysis and specification parts, they become redundant since the working prototype that has been approved by the customer services as an animated requirement specification. So the code for the prototype, which is usually thrown away. However, the experience that are being gathered from development of the prototypes, they are going to help a great deal in developing the actual system. So here everyone thought that the construction of a throwaway prototype that might involve incurring additional costs for the system with unclear customer requirements and for systems with unresolvable technical issues. But the overall development cost usually turns out to be lower, that is compared to the equivalent system development using the iterative waterfall model. So by constructing the prototype and submitting it for user evaluation, many customer requirements get properly defined and the technical issues, they get resolved by experimenting with the prototype. So this minimizes the later change request for the customer and the associating redesign costs. So that is the important thing what we have to understand. So here the major strength of the prototype model is this model is the most appropriate for projects that suffer from technical and requirement risk. And a constructed prototypes, they helps to overcome these requirement risks, technical and requirement risks. Now coming to the weakness of the prototyping model, these prototyping models, they can increase the cost of development for projects that are routine development work and of course do not suffer from any significant risks. So even when a project is susceptible to risk, the prototyping model, which is effective only for those projects for which the risk can be identified upfront before the development is going to start. Because since the prototype is being constructed only at the start of the project, and the prototype model is ineffective for risk identified later during the development cycle. And this prototyping model, they would not be appropriate for those projects for which the risk can only be identified after the development is underway. So these are the few important things or the weaknesses of the prototype that what we need to understand. So I hope you understood. So that's all for now. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for the latest notifications. Thank you, one and all.